Luke Shaw, from Southampton Youth Academy wonder kid to one of the most expensive English teenagers in world football. Recently, he has bounced back in the last couple of years from a near career-ending injury that happened back in 2015. He's proven his many doubters wrong, like ex-Manchester United boss Jose Mourinho.
Cannot compare, is a long way behind.
After silencing his critics at Manchester United in the past 2 seasons, he's also taken that club form to international level with England, being a key member for the Three Lions that took them all the way to the Euro 2020 final. Now the lad is being hailed as one of the best left backs in the world and has gotten himself a brand new nickname, Shawberto Carlos. At the time of this recording, Luke Shaw is still only 26 years of age, about to approach his prime, and is still experiencing a rapid career resurgence from the past 2 seasons. That's why today Sir BCHD takes over the reins at Manchester United with 1 goal and 1 goal only. We're focusing in on Luke Shaw's career to see if we can make him better than PRIME Roberto Carlos. We've loaded up icons into this save as we have right here Prime Moments Roberto Carlos standing at a 92 overall. That is the benchmark, that is the bar to beat. The Brazilian's recently given Shaw some praise for his performances as of late.
After the game, I was sat on the bus. Yeah, he'd comment on my picture. I couldn't believe it, to be honest.
And of course, is one of the most iconic players of his position. An enigmatic left back that never skips leg day. Hailed and remembered for that famous left foot outside the boot shot. This guy having a power free kick trait is an understatement. I mean, just take a look at these attributes. He's the full package. All you want in a left back. Perfect in attack. He's got some classic South American flair about him and some maxed out stats thrown in there as well, like 99 long shots, 99 shot power, 99 curve. Meanwhile, being pretty spot on and world class defensively, there are just dark greens left, right and center all across the page. Luke Shaw should be in awe of this man. However, this is the current state of Luke Shaw at the moment at an 82 overall, left-footed, high attack and work rate, medium defensive, and because we're starting this at the beginning of last season, he is still only 24, which definitely plays into our hands. He just needs to grow a plus 10 and then some. He has to hope for the same current growth trajectory and the great seasons that he has had before and continue getting better and better. However, one main disadvantage that might set us back is that he is injury prone, a trait that you don't want any player in career mode to have. However, we've just got to deal with it. Fingers crossed that dynamic potential comes through and sorts us out. I've had to bump up his overall just to match his current FIFA rating because the squads are a little bit outdated. However, we're going to jump into his development plans and see what we're going to do with him. And there is no doubt in my mind that I want to see improvements in that weak foot. Considering Roberto Carlos only has a 3-star, that is definitely an avenue to get a 1-up on the Brazilian. So for season 1, Luke Shaw is going to improve on his pace attributes, dribbling, defending, physical and passing, on the road to creating his own Roberto Carlos-esque legacy and also becoming one of the best left backs in the world. Who knows, he could join Cannavaro and being one of the only defenders to win a Ballon d'Or, but that is definitely later down in the pipeline. After the season that he's had, probably one of the best years of his career, we're going to hook the Englishman up with a brand new contract. I'm not a fan of that release clause, but I'm just going to accept the 1-year extension. This just isn't a United rebuild. We have a tunnel vision for Luke Shaw's career right now, so all the competition like Alex Telles, who's currently better than him, he'll be released, guaranteeing that the Englishman will get 100% of the game time. You guys seem to be enjoying the series. I don't really know what to call it, but we started off with Albert Tjalin trying to make him better than Haaland. We also did it with the Mbappe brothers. Now we're doing it in a bit of a different circumstance, not with Wonder Kids, but with memes. So let me know down in the comments below, what other player combinations should we try this out with, as your idea might become the next video. Here is how the new revitalized Luke Shaw's United have performed in season 1, finishing runners up to Liverpool. However, the Red Devils claiming their Champions League qualification for next season, so that's a bonus with 85 points. It was a very solid campaign. No good news to report on in the FA Cup, no showing in the Carabao either, and over in the Champions League, they got knocked down to the Europa League just like in real life. It's a kick in the guts, but they didn't even make it past the round of 32. As you can see here, Sivasspor took them on away goals wise. Not much of a continental presence whatsoever. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I've only learnt of this recently. Players over 40 in career mode do not get downgraded. Their stats just stay the same. So as long as Roberto Carlos doesn't retire, he'll just stay at a 92. So let's take a look at Shaw's stats in comparison to that. And here we go. He is up a +2. We started him off this season at an 82 upgraded overall. He's been at the club since 2014 and has that important squad role. He's a very happy boy at the club. Hit 25 years of age, and here how his season stats have laid out. Putting up some decent numbers as well. In 49 appearances, he got himself 2 goals and 7 assists, 9 goal contributions from the English left back as he put up an average 6.7 match rating. He's got himself that 5-star weak foot. I don't think he was set back by too many injuries this season. season. As both acceleration and sprint speed are in the 80s, stamina is up as well. He's got that 5-star weak foot to boast about now in good form, and now his market valuation currently standing at £38 million with a 28% boost. He hasn't catapulted off the blocks whatsoever, but it's a solid start. Adding to that, defensively, he also managed to maintain 19 clean sheets. We also managed to hook him up with some brand new boots. I know he wears Adidas in real life, but I decided to give him a bit of that flair and strike a bit more fears into opponent's eyes when they see this man running with those boots down the wing. Not only has he got the likes of Jose Mourinho eating his words, but simultaneously still working towards that Roberto Carlos benchmark. We've set him that high bar. Let's see how much closer he gets in Season 2. Season 2 is well and truly up and running, only days away from the first game day of the Premier League, and now we've got to assign Luke Shaw with a brand new development plan. We're going to go for the attack and wide back. Let's continue on improving his attacking game and try and mold him into the player that Roberto Carlos was. High work rates could be on the horizons next. Unfortunately, we can't train defenders to have 5-star skill moves, so he's just going to have 3-star for the rest of his career, just to keep pace with the happenings and all the transfer action going on in real life right now. For Season 2, we've made sure things stay realistic. We've brought in the likes of Jadon Sancho for £200 million from Dortmund. That signing's just been announced alongside the addition of Raphael Varane. Not officially though. All rumours and Fabrizio Romano tweets lead to the Frenchman being at Old Trafford this season. We've managed to bring them along board to see how Luke Shaw's game is going to improve with these two in the new team. On the side as well, we've just completed a sneaky swap deal with Fred and Renato Sanchez, just because Sir BCHD felt like it. I don't know. After United and Shaw's tough work in the last couple of seasons, they finally get rewarded with a Premier League title, winning over their city rivals with 89 points, taking home the Premier League title. The Red Devils finally add some major silverware to the trophy cabinet as we take a look at the FA Cup, and they didn't even make the final. It was 4-0 in a Merseyside derby as they were eliminated to the eventual champions Liverpool in round 6. The Carabao Cup saw them get eliminated, knocked out in the semi-finals to Man City 4-4 on aggregate, and ended 5-4 on penalties. Over in the Champions League, they were gifted with a pretty easy group. Group H saw them get on top of it with Ajax, Shakhtar Donetsk and Spartak Moscow. However, their European run didn't really go too far, as in the round of 16 they were knocked out to Juventus 3-2. No, actually, they made it through to the quarterfinals, my bad. Getting thrown out of the competition to the hands of Barcelona on away goals 2-2. Luke Shaw is leveling up, going from strength to strength under Sir BCHD. He's really achieving his best game, and the medical team must be on point because he has not, or I can just tell he hasn't been injured because he's played 63 games, scoring twice and getting 5 assists, similar numbers to his first season, 7 goal contributions, and this time 28 clean sheets. Not only proven that he can go and attack, but he can defend quite competently. With an average 6.8 match rating, in terms of his development plan this season, it's done him wonders in terms of acceleration, sprint speed and stamina, also improving the likes of composure and vision, which is good to see. No signs of any maxed out stats or attributes close to getting maxed out, so he's still well and truly far away from that, but growing up a +3 this season, we already saw him get boosted by 1 in the first month, and now the 26-year-old about to approach his prime is valued at £71 million, experiencing a 52% boost financially this season. Reaching that 87 overall, he is still 5 ratings away from Roberto Carlos, the GOAT. The goated left back who is still going in his 40s. Luke's gonna need a season to remember if he wants to climb over Roberto Carlos or even just equal his overall. Right now we've got tunnel vision for the 90s. He wants to be one of the world's best. Now let's wait and see what Season 3 has to offer. Not only will we be rewarding Luke Shaw with a brand new contract, still unable to get that crucial first team role, but it doesn't really matter considering he's the best left back at the club. He gets a cheeky little pay rise as we get to tinker around with his development plan. This time, I want to go for high work rates. Let's improve on those defensive stats, even though they're still pretty decent, or do we go for wide back? I think actually wide back would be a strategic option here, also improving upon his agility and balance, which needs some upgrades. Long passing gets some work done as well, so I'm happy with that training preset being the main one this season. We're expecting some big numbers out of him as he's approaching his prime. We should be ready to see peak performance. In terms of additions to the squad this season and new players that are going to be playing alongside Luke Shaw, we've spent the big bucks on Joao Felix because there is a severe lack of strikers. Martial's left, Cavani's retired. This club needed a brand new Portuguese star boy to take over Old Trafford, and in order to tighten up the midfield and improve on our defense also, it is going to be Joshua Kimmich arriving from Bayern Munich. Shaw and Manchester United continue to sit pretty on top as Season 3 is all but over. They back up last season with another Premier League winning campaign, winning silverware again, 87 points, champions of England. Liverpool right behind them with 86, but they came out well and truly on top. Arsenal down in 10th. Shaw's becoming used to winning a lot of silverware as he lost out in the FA Community Shield, unfortunately, to Liverpool 1-0. They couldn't couldn't make a decent run in the FA Cup whatsoever. It's like they just only solely focused on the league, getting knocked out against Hull City 2-1 in round 5. Over in the Carabao, Liverpool continued to haunt them outside of the Premier League. It was 2-1 to the Reds at Wembley, and they couldn't get their hands on any domestic silverware. It's another lackluster showing in Europe, as in Group G, United finished in second alongside Napoli, Olympique Lyon and Basel. They only came out equal first, getting matched up against Milan in the round of 16, destroying them 6-2 on aggregate. Over in the quarterfinals, they took down Bayern 2-1, and in the semis, Liverpool just want to see us and Shaw crash and burn as they knocked us out on away goals 4-4, which see them matched up in a 2018 final replay. Development plan news, as Luke Shaw showing his competent side with the wide back training. Our left back superstar has reached 89 overall, growing a +2 this season, sees him 1 rating away from that coveted 90 overall. We check his stats this season, and it's been one of his most contributing campaigns to date. In terms of production, 5 goals and 8 assists, that is 13 goal contributions in 61 appearances, 22 clean sheets to coincide that with an average match rating of 6.9. He's done his due diligence, and he's remained competitive and also professional. Whether or not we continue with this wide back plan is to be determined, as he is now high work rates, he's maintained good form, and he's now definitely in his prime. 27 years of age and valued at £89.5 million. The closest attributes to being maxed out are probably crossing and stamina, both standing right now at a 93, and I did instantly have some worries and doubts about this injury prone trait. However, it hasn't really affected him too much, touch wood. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. I feel like that feature's been more important in previous years in career mode. If your player was injury prone, he was just injured every other month, but not with Luke Shaw. He has shown resilience, and this championship winning culture we have him enthralled in here at United is really going to let them have their heads held high for season 4. It's only a matter of time. He's only 3 overall points away from prime moments Roberto Carlos, standing at a 92. He's still going at 50 years of age. I'm sure the Brazilian icon is watching on and just in awe of what Luke Shaw has been able to do. I don't know why I've only thought about this 4 seasons in, but I actually want to tinker around with the instructions and tactics that the players are given. I just wanted to make sure that Luke is playing in his best possible way, and Sir BCHD is getting the best out of him. In terms of attacking run, he's on join the attack, which is what we want. We'll change him up to aggressive interceptions. I want him to be a defensive unit, ready to make those interceptions when needed, and also be ready to make a counter attack. Run type, I'm going to have him on overlap. So when the likes of Marcus Rashford receive the ball out on the left, he's running around trying to make that desperate attack and run. Those are some of his updated instructions, and meanwhile we're doing that, I'm just going to give him the captain's armband, because why not? We'll strip it off Slabhead and see how he does for the year. In terms of how the whole team is playing, we've got pressure on heavy touch on, and offensive style I want to change up to fast build up. In terms of his current deal, we've got him penned up on a brand new contract. He is now valued at £103 million, getting paid 300k a week, and finally after all these years he turns a crucial first team role. In terms of his training regime this season, we're just going to keep things how they are, reinforcing this wide back development plan. I want to see those long passes get upgrades, and also his agility and balance enter the 90s. They've marked season 4 with yet another flawless campaign from both Shaw and his teammates. Manchester United on top of the Premier League table once again, and at champions of England with 94 points. Man City, Spurs and Liverpool make up the top 4. That was their main competition, and they rose above the rest. In terms of the Community Shield, it is a mystery who won this one at Wembley. We don't know, because this game is broken. Over into the FA Cup, and finally they got some silverware on their belt. When it comes to domestic cups, they didn't even perform, and there we have it, Shaw not only lifting up the Prem but also the FA Cup. Over in the Carabao, and the Red Devils were nowhere to be seen. Shaw and the boys bowing out early in this one. It turns out we have a match of gargantuan proportions. Not only is it a Champions League final, but it's a Manchester derby. Not only that, just to add a bit of spice into the mix, Roberto Carlos has changed allegiances, and Man City have lured him to the Etihad. I don't know what Pep Guardiola and his staff were thinking in this transfer, because they spent a total of nothing, £0, to bring him in. The 51-year-old now, I know it's his prime icon moments, but to bring in a 51-year-old at the club, you gotta be scratching your head at that one. Nonetheless, makes a good storyline, so I'm happy. Luke Shaw versus Roberto Carlos. We are in for an epic grand finale, as United finished top of Group E alongside Lazio, Lyon and Fenerbahce. They came out in the round of 32 to defeat PSG 3-0. Over in the quarters, they progressed past Benfica 6-3, and making their way over to the semis was a 4-2 aggregate win against Spurs to book them a spot in the big dance. It's a chance for Shaw to guide his team to the treble for the first time since 1999, and would you look at that, both Shaw and Roberto Carlos are equal at a 92. We all saw that Shaw was only 1 point away from the 90s. At the start of this season, he was sitting at an 89, and now he's gone up a +3. It doesn't show that because I actually got fired. Had to rehire myself as the manager, and now we can only see his progress from when I took over, which is only a +1, but he is now classified as one of the world's best. That's the level he wanted to be, and now he's up against his idol, I guess. Here in a Champions League final with a campaign like this, 60 appearances, 2 goals and 8 assists, 10 goal contributions for the Englishman at left back, and the man donning the captain's armband. We switched up his development plan towards the back end of the season, going from a wide back to defensive wide back. His form is just okay. Nonetheless, his value is still climbing. At 28 years of age, he is now worth £120 million on the transfer market. With a 12% boost, surrounded by some of the best players in the world, this is how United will be lining up tonight. We're about to play this one in probably what is going to be the biggest night of his career. Also in club history, let's see what he can serve up on the international stage. A little bit of an update here. For some strange reason, my game just keeps deciding to crash whenever I decide to play this game. And I've discovered the only way that works is quick sim in this one. So we're going to have to miss out on this Champions League final of a lifetime. It breaks my heart. I don't want to think about it. The more I think about it, the more I want to cry. But let's just quick sim this one and see Manchester United win 4-3 in extra time. A 7-goal thriller in a Champions League final probably goes down as one of the best in history, as Sancho, Ronaldo Sanchez, Rashford and Sancho got the goals. It was an action-packed European night that sees the Red Devils victorious over their city rivals. Shaw might have got the upper hand there and another dub for his side. However, he still needs to conquer Roberto Carlos. Any type of growth headed into Season 5 will see him break his prime icon moments record of 92. So let's hope Shaw's got a bit more left in the tank and he can conquer the enigmatic Brazilian icon. We're half a decade in for this Luke Shaw Roberto Carlos growth test challenge. We've got the Englishman on a defensive wide back training plan. We'll be focusing more on the technical side of his game because we can't really target this attacking area with shooting and get his stats up and get those attributes up like Roberto Carlos. Unfortunately, it's just the development plans don't allow us to do it unless we stick to balanced. However, we've also penned him a brand new deal here, just getting a bit of that wage increase, the salary bonus of 420k a week, as the 28-year-old is well and truly in his prime, representing England at the 2024 Euros. All he needs to do is just grow +1 this season at a minimum, and he'll overcome prime Roberto Carlos. This season, things are a little different now. We can finally track his stats, at least in the Premier League. Now plays for the citizens, we'll be able to see the veteran left-back's every move. In the aftermath of Shaw's United winning the treble last season in stunning fashion, unfortunately they couldn't replicate that and bounce back for a three-peat of Premier League titles. They fall short with 84 points, and Liverpool Man City do battle with 87. The citizens are the champions of England alongside Roberto Carlos. He gets his first taste of English glory. However, it wasn't to be in the Prem, and that is the exact same deal here in the FA Community Shield, losing out to Spurs on penalties 5-4. And over in the big dance at Wembley, we've got yet another bout against Liverpool in an FA Cup final right here. We're definitely going to quick sim that one and see what goes down in the Carabao. That is where we can finally celebrate a domestic cup under our belt with a 3-0 comfortable win over Aston Villa in the final. And here, over in the Champions League, we have got Liverpool versus Manchester United, yet another all-English affair, and it's going to be a monster derby with a lot on the line. A major European final to see Luke Shaw out. It is going to be one hell of a night. They could not necessarily win the treble, but they could also capture a treble of trophies. Let's quick sim this one up against Liverpool in the FA Cup final. It's a little dress rehearsal for next week, and they have gotten the 2-0 dub over the Reds with Kimmich and Rashford with the goals. Luke Shaw unfortunately got a yellow card. It's very much 2 down, 1 to go. There is a big one, and this time we're actually going to play it. Before we do that though, we got to check in on Roberto Carlos at Man City. Now, a Premier League champion, how much did he play in their season? He actually got himself 37 appearances, being their main and pretty much only left back. 1 goal for the Brazilian with 18 clean sheets and an average match rating of 6.8. Not bad from the veteran, I must say. At now 52 years of age, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Now let's see how he compares up against Luke Shaw. It's the Englishman in his prime, and he did what he had to do. He understood the assignment this season of just growing up by a +1. That's all he had to do. He can stop there. And the 29-year-old now has achieved his peak, pipping Roberto Carlos at a 93 overall. He's in excellent form, and look at his stats this season. 62 games, still with 1 more to go. 2 goals and 10 assists, 12 goal contributions, and 25 clean sheets. For the captain of Manchester United, a brilliant leadership shown by him, and the job is not yet finished. However, he still is in excellent form, and we decided just to switch over his development plan to balance, see what that could achieve, and it's actually gone ahead and done the job. Where the Brazilian gets a 1-up on Luke Shaw is that he does have 3 maxed out stats. Luke Shaw comes close with stamina out of 97, but he doesn't have any 99s to boast about, unfortunately. Thankfully, the injury-prone trait hasn't been too much of a hindrance in this career simulation, as his valuation continues to rise, now worth £131.5 million, a 9% boost, and that puts him in brilliant stead to lead the lads out tonight against the enemy. I want to get a feel of him and see how he plays in game, and hopefully by the end of this one, he is going to be lifting up the famous old trophy. It has been scintillating recently watching Shaw revive his own career. Everyone thought he was finished. Jose Mourinho put him in the bin. People coming out and saying he was overweight. He is finished at Manchester United. He can't be starting. And now here we go. It is May 2025, and he is leading the boys out against Liverpool in a major European final. What a run it's been. That career-ending injury that sidelined him for so many months back in the Van Gaal era feels like a lifetime ago, and he's officially ended the debate, overtaking Roberto Carlos, and now tonight he proves himself. Let's see what the best left back in world football can show. Oh no, big opportunity for Liverpool here with Fabinho. Luke Shaw's tracking back, and he's out of position, gone the complete opposite side of the field. He's trying to keep this Liverpool attack at bay up against his fellow left back, and he absolutely does. Robertson, as Sancho gets to set him free. He's on the complete opposite end of the pitch, not where we used to see him, and that through pass to Bruno was terrible, but it's a solid start, and we still got something going here. Bruno back on over to Luke Shaw on his weaker side. He's going to cut back and see if there's any options in the middle. It is João Felix who had a shot, and it wasn't good enough. Karius starting this Champions League final for Liverpool. If we don't win this, I'm going to be completely devastated. Ball over the top for Salah, and that is picture perfect. The Egyptian floats that one in, and Wan-Bissaka has to deal with it. The captain nowhere to be seen as he was left tracking back. Renato Sanchez gives it off, but it's a poor decision, and Luke Shaw has to try and regain possession here with Marcus Llorente. He chips him, and that's a bit naughty. Not great leadership there. The best left back in the world, just with a brain snap. To Luke Shaw, we're operating this left-hand side rather dangerously here. Rashford, nice little footwork to find Luke Shaw again, and he sets up a lovely opportunity for Fernandes, who cuts it back. Bruno on the inside, sees Rashford, gets to Shaw, space a bit too packed out. Shaw again will come back, cross inside. That is a terrible cross. Where was that to? It's a brilliant little dribble from him as MBE comes in clutch. We're still working this left-hand side rather nicely. And Luke Shaw, oh, that is a lovely passage of play, and it somehow still manages to find Shaw. If he can get the cross in to João Felix, and that's the closest we've come, or the best play we've put together. On final chance before the half. And Shaw can't get past Nico Williams, and that might be it for the first half. Rather dull, not too many chances created. It is going to be a very tight second 45 up next. Wow, what a save from De Gea. Big block from Varane. Virgil can't get to the header, and Sancho has to clear it away. Rashford on defensive duties wins it back. Now he puts in a nice little ball. Luke Shaw with plenty of green grass to run onto. He's got an entire channel to work. And there are men in the middle, early cross, inside, delivered, and it's a toe poke in from none other than Bruno Fernandes, and Luke Shaw gets the assist. What a finish, what a delivery from the Englishman, and the captain provides the breakaway for Manchester United here in the final. It has been a very, very tight game. As soon as Liverpool pushed their men forward, it was a counter-attack sprung instantaneously. Tuminello misses the header completely, and the Portuguese Magnifico just pokes that one into the bottom left-hand corner. Karius left scrambling, and Luke Shaw responsible for that one. Literally ran from his own half all the way up the pitch. Liverpool pushed their men forward, and we capitalise. Rashford can't win the header, and Luke Shaw gets trampled on. Now Liverpool on the attack, seeking this equaliser. Harry Maguire off his line, and Luke Shaw on a booking. We've got to be careful. We don't want the captain sent off. And Liverpool are building up something special here. Milinkovic-Savic, Varane got a block in, and now we can escape as Luke Shaw on the overlap again. Always dangerous. He'll find Bruno inside, and a lovely little one too. Again, the chance for the early cross, and it works again. Now with João Felix, a different Portuguese star, gets on the end of it, and 2 goals, literally a carbon copy, as the Liverpool defense couldn't get back quick enough. We've got João Felix himself, the number 9, to slot that one home. Liverpool stunned with 2 sucker punches in a row. It was a lovely little exchange between him and Bruno. Luke Shaw possessing that early cross trait, and it shows. Jurgen Klopp absolutely furious, and that is 2 assists for Shawberto Carlos. Here we go again. Nice little build up, and that will be a foul. Robertson. Oh, it's a red card for Robertson. And Liverpool's left back doesn't keep his composure and lashes out on Rashford. Shawberto Carlos would never. And that's another one of it. And now Shaw all of a sudden gets a chance to shoot. He will! And I thought that was going to bulge into the top right-hand corner, but it just goes wide. And that would have completed a Luke Shaw masterclass tonight. Karius was definitely scrambling. And there we have it. Referee blows his whistle, and it's 2 goals to the good for United. Both created by Shaw, both assisted by the captain. And here we go. We've created Shawberto Carlos. It's taken us 5 seasons. He's well and truly shown his worth. From an up-and-coming prodigy at Southampton, now to a world-class left-back. And one of the best in the world, overtaking Roberto Carlos himself. That's definitely been a fun one to do. Shawberto Carlos in FIFA 21. Let me know what you've thought of Luke Shaw's career down in the comments below, as I'll leave you guys with the Champions League celebrations. Make sure if you're new around here to drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe and turn on the notifications. As always, if you want to see more content arriving, there's the man himself about to lift up the Holy Grail. As always, I've been Sir BCHD. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.
Running out of time and I'm running out of patience. Don't know who am I, why do I feel suspicious? Keep on holding on even though I know I'm wasted. Answers to the question, yeah, I know I'm impatient. Running out of time and I'm running out of patience. Don't know who am I, why do I feel suspicious? Keep on holding